and welcome. My name is Martin and I am going to take you on this deep dive into how organizations work in ToolHive. So, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. I already went to toolhive.app. We're going to create a completely new account, start from scratch, and go through the setup together. So, I'm going to go with Google and we're going to log in. We will get to the setup page of ToolHive and it's going to ask us to create a new organization. And so we are gonna do that. Our organization name is the first thing we need to enter. Now we're just gonna make it Peer Incorporated. Very good company. Now we have to accept the terms and conditions. We have two options. We can just go immediately to done, accept all of the default settings, or we're gonna go through each step individually, whatever you want to do. So we're gonna go with next and we're just gonna walk you through all of the steps. The first thing we need to do is set up the data processes. Now, data processes is something that is the process in which data is being processed within your company. It usually goes over multiple departments and is not limited to something. So we have a couple things that we are set up for you, but you can completely customize this in the organization settings after you set up your organization. So for now, we're just gonna say we are making things. We have a web shop because Peer.inc makes something and they ship things. And then because we ship things, we also have to take returns from customers. So let's just choose this. Now we have to choose what type of data we have. Again, this is just a general setup to help you get into ToolHive more easy, but you can customize this completely in the organization settings, which I will show you later on. Now, the basic settings is just to have more generic categories of data. So we have personal data, website and tracking data, and financial data. This is the basic data that almost every company has because you do have your name or an email address of your customers. You have some website and you might have some tracking on it like Google Analytics. And you also have to bill your customers. So you have invoice data like bank numbers, VAT numbers if you deal with companies, or transaction history. Now we can slide this one and we get more categories. So the further you go to the right, the more categories you have and the more advanced you are. We would recommend to just start easy and make it more specific to your needs as you go along. ToolHive is all about kind of doing things incrementally, starting somewhere and then like every half year or every year you come back, you review what you have and you see if you can change something about it. So the highest level we have personal data, website data, financial data, customer rights and requests, legal data, employee data, sensitive data. They're all a bunch of categories that you have. Now we're just gonna go with the basic version because we don't need so much. So let's go. Then we're all done. It's just as easy as that. One of the things I want to show you is if we go back to the processes step and we say we have employees, then if we go through the wizard, you will see that you will actually get the whole invite your colleagues step extra. So if you say you don't have employees, we assume that you don't have any other people to share this with. So that's one less step you need to do. But if you have employees, you can invite them here and share ToolHive with them. So that was how to set up an organization in ToolHive. Very simple, very easy. Now, let's talk about the organizational settings before we actually go into how to create a tool. There's a couple of ways to get to the organization settings. The first one is through the profile menu. You click on your little icon and you go to organization. The other option is to go through the search menu. You can click on the little icon here, or you can use the Command K shortcut to get there, and then you have the option of organization here directly, or you type in organization and you can head into your organization settings. Now here we can go through all of the things that we actually set up in the wizard, but you will see that it's actually created a lot of things for you already. So we have the name again, then we have the data processes, and this time you will see that they are all set up, and based on the settings that you did during the setup, you will have more or less options here. So the data processes, as I said before, are processes within your company where you process the data. So for example, you could have a sales process where you try to sell somebody your application or your product. Any tools that you use during that whole process, you can connect those to the sales, and then you will have insights in what type of data you use in that process, but also the tools you use it. And the idea is that usually data processes are bigger than departments. For example, if you have a returns policy, you will notice that the returns come into the shipping department, for example. They unpack it, they check the products, then they say, yes, this person has sent it back, and then the invoicing department has to actually return them the money. So while it is one data process, it is actually multiple departments that work together on it. And so that is the idea about data processes. It isn't about which department does something, but it's about the processes in your company that process certain types of data. Okay. Then we have the data types again. Now, we had a slider in the organization wizard where you can select all of the different types, but this time you see all of those sections below here. You can add them, you can completely customize the way that you want and create your own and make it your own, because that is important, because all of this is not to force you into a specific model. It allows you to do whatever it is that your company does. Every company works different, and you should be able to mold ToolHive in a way that works for you. So we're gonna scroll past all of the data types. And one of the things you can do is enable approvals. This is especially useful when you work with multiple people. What you can do is we're gonna enable the approvals, and then you will get a whole new section here. Now, if you want to change something in a tool or create a new tool or vendor, then what you have to do is that multiple people will have to review those changes and then approve those changes before you can make them active. And the reason for this is that you might want to have your security team, your legal team, your billing team all look into this new tool or the update that is making it and make sure that it aligns with company policy. For example, if a new person wants to use a tool that you haven't used in the company, then maybe that same tool does something that another tool that you already pay for already does, or the tool that they want to use is making certain actions less secure. So when you enable approvals, you allow your company's team to make sure that every new tool that they use is up to it. So there's a couple of things you can do. So first is who is required to approve all the changes. This is just any change you would make in the tool or in the vendor. You can add a name here. You can select a name here, and then that person will get notified when somebody wants to change something. The other option is if you want to approve certain changes to, for example, billing data, legal data, or security data, then those specific people will be alerted of the new change. And also you can allow certain people to not require a change. For example, if you have a DPO and the DPO makes a lot of changes, then maybe you assume that he knows what he's doing, and you can say, okay, this person never has to make a change request, and he can just go ahead and do whatever change that is needed. So very interesting. The next section is users. You can add more team members to your organization. You can change the roles. If I actually click it, you will see that there are many things that a person can do, from certain actions in tools for vendors. At the top is just full organization settings. So a lot of different permissions you can give to different users, allow them to do one thing or not another. which will make it more easy to use ToolHive with multiple people without just anybody can do anything. And lastly, delete your account, which is important, but only if you want to stop using ToolHive. That is everything you need to know about organizations in ToolHive. So head to our next video on tools, where we will pick up how to create tools, how to manage them, the entire flow, or check out our other videos on change requests, vendors, and all of the features that are in ToolHive. Hope you enjoyed this video. Did you like the video? Then hit the like button. And if you want to spend less time wrestling with GDPR and more time growing your business, then check out ToolHive. You can try out our paid subscription plans for free for a whole month without needing a credit card, or stick with our free plan forever. You could also check out our other videos with GDPR tips and ToolHive walkthroughs. I will see you in the next one.